Eclipse Moonglade. He's played in 9 years since 2011, missing one this year. Will he get it, though? Playing for Team Acer is the blue Terran player. It's, of course, MMA.
Our favorite.
Our favorite
to win
boy.
this thing. 3-1. We'll have to wait and see, though. It's still early days, and Jjakji has been playing very well, taking down True. And we see a scout straight off the bat from MMA going right into the main of Jjakji. He sees the racks, and not much else. He gets out of there alive. Wants to keep that SCV alive, so come back for more later. But it is going to be a Reaper opening for Jjakji. Great Reaper map. We saw it in our last game, actually. We saw mass Reapers.
We did,
didn't we? And what a pleasant game that was. And once again, Reapers are going to be on this map. And the reason is it's such a great map to get into the enemy base and do some great scouting.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same build, really, with double Barracks Reaper. Don't see this that often in Terran vs. Terran, and MMA's got to play this very, very carefully. He knows there's one Barracks, but what does he really know other than that? Not a lot right now. He's only got 3-4 Marines. If he can push this back with the Marines that he's got, he's going to start taking a bit of damage on these Marines, and Jjakji wears them down a little bit, but also wears down his Reaper's hit points too, but of course can recover.
Absolutely.
Hellion on the way, though. And once you get a handful of Marines and Hellions, these Reapers are not going to be that useful here for
they're going to have a lot of trouble
Jjakji.
finding a way in, especially. And
yeah,
it's going to be very, very hard for Jjakji to find a lot of damage. And, I mean, after that sort of initial Reaper, we see Jjakji not really investing much more.
Yeah, I think he was really looking to blind counter a Gas First, because Gas First is so popular. We've seen it so much already. These 3 Reapers can cause a couple of problems, but they shouldn't do massive damage here to MMA.
Yeah.
With a Hellion already out, 5 Marines in support with some good control, he should be fine. But Jjakji, if he had played against a Gas First, we'd be looking at maybe 1-2 Marines, and that's it, while the infrastructure's being built up, and during that duration, he could have got a lot done. But because he's gambled a little bit on the openings that MMA has chosen, because MMA has looked at a lot of Gas First builds all tournament long, of course, in the games that he's played, Jjakji's a little bit open to a counterattack right now.
Yeah, very, very much so. And we can already see the supply difference as well, just from these build orders, and considering how little Jjakji has made done with this investment into Reapers early on. And I think we're definitely going to see a follow-up from MMA once this Medivac comes out. We're going to see that timing with Hellions and Marines in Medivacs that he's done a lot of work with in the past, and here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Medivac, 7 Marines. Hellions are going to join in very soon. Reapers together here. I wonder which way this is going to go. These players have played once already in this tournament, and it did go in favor of Jjakji. Time for MMA to turn that around.
Time indeed, but he's not going to find much here unless
it's right in the dark.
Unless these Hellions get up, I don't know.
Oh, they're in, kinda.
They're kind of in, but this is still a bit of an awkward situation. Can he actually make it work? The Medivac doing a lot of healing and a lot of work here.
And a couple of SCVs who come off the line here. Great movement there by MMA to try to get the Hellions to get a straight line of fire. But he does get pushed back, and Jjakji does defend against this counter for now.
Yeah, he does. He does indeed. Not taking much damage whatsoever. I don't think even less than SCV. So very, very nicely done. But at the same time, while this is happening, MMA is taking that natural base. CC is halfway done now. So great sort of aggression while this is going down. But at the same time, Jjakji is finished and is flying to that natural.
Yeah, and MMA just going to try and tickle away a little bit until a Viking or so has come out to push this Medivac back, try and extract as much value from these units as he possibly can. Behind this, has started tank production. Excuse me, and added on 2 more barracks as well. So really going to climb up the unit count shortly. Whereas Jjakji on the other side of things hasn't really... Well, actually, I say that he's got 2 barracks down. Where's he going to go from this? 3, 4, 5 is kind of common.
Yeah, 5 usually seems the standard for 2 base, for sure. We've seen that time and time again, but not much else so far. We haven't seen a tank being made at all for Jjakji yet, and I think it's going to get to that stage where it's going to be Marine tank versus Marine tank, and the tank number is going to be very, very important.
Jjakji does get that Reaper inside and sees the extra barracks being added on, so he knows that MMA's not playing too greedy here. There is an option where MMA could have thrown down a 3rd command center instead of the extra barracks here, but he did choose to ramp up the production. And likewise, Jjakji going to match him here. He's going to build that 3rd barracks, but for the time being, it is MMA who is he's in a bit of a slight lead when it comes to that production. As he has double tech labs here, so he's going to get Steerman combat shields down at the same time, and they will finish roughly together.
Yeah, so very, very even game ultimately, but a bit more tank count for MMA, which can come into play, especially if MMA wants to make a move early on here. Can do a lot of work. We see 2 Hellions in a Medivac making its way over to the main of Jjakji. Not really enough Marines, not really enough Hellions to do too much damage.
Yeah.
Even if the SCDs line up, he won't be able to one-shot them or anything like that. And Viking is already waiting for this.
Yeah, MMA did scan and saw these units in there, so I don't think he's expecting to get too much done. And he does pull back with his Medivac, but likewise at the same time, Jjakji just boosted a Medivac out as well here with a handful of Marines in. So he's going to be swinging around, and the aggression already starting from both players, trying, well, at least the attempts have been aggressive. MMA does catch Jjakji out in the middle with these 2 Hellions.
Yeah, nice little advantage here, nice little victory while this is happening. Both players have start +1 as well as Stim. Stim almost finished actually for Jjakji, so Jjakji could definitely find a nice timing from that if he so desired, but both players kind of playing very defensively at the same time, worried about drops on the map, which is fair enough considering Jjakji's just got deflected.
Well, we do see MMA throwing down the 4th and 5th barracks, which are slightly hidden around his natural. And likewise, Jjakji's going to repeat the same thing, despite not knowing exactly what MMA is going for. They both are aiming towards the right direction, but it is MMA with that slight lead. Not so much when it comes to the overall supply, but like I said before, with the production, he's going to be able to build a better army and actually will catch up in terms of supply and probably overtake soon.
Absolutely.
With his faster barracks.
Absolutely, indeed. Yeah, very, very much a mirror match in just about every aspect at this moment. And do you see a nice little setup for MMA outside his natural? Might be deciding to make a move very soon. Very, very careful game for both players.
Yeah.
Trying to feel each other out early on in this best of 5. Don't want to take too many risks too early on. And he gets rid of that scouting SCV, so it doesn't really show Jjakji where his army is on the map, which is very, very important at this time because there could be Medivacs on the map just waiting to do a counter drop.
Yeah, and because they're so similar in units, every decision is so important right now because, like you said, Medivacs can counter if the whole army moves out. Position is so valuable for both players to hold off and not to allow their opponent to find a position on them.
Absolutely.
Doom drops, MMA has said that's what this matchup is, and I'm sure we're going to see a bit of that shortly.
Look at this. He's clearing out the 1 Marine with 2 Marines. Jjakji does not know. Jjakji does not know anything, and look at how open this natural is. If we saw all the tanks and Marines just roll up and set up shop outside this natural, get a good position, there's nothing Jjakji could do.
Oh, and Jjakji, I'm not sure he spots a tank, and he's not going to have a tank by himself. Scans and sees the whole army now, and he's going to try and get into position here. MMA lifts, but is he going to actually drop in there?
Siege tanks go up. It's kind of an awkward position here for both players, but Marines taking a lot of hits for those tanks down below. And it's like we are going to see maybe they're trying to counter drop each other as well. And I think Jjakji's definitely getting the better trade here. Just finding out where that army was just in time.
Yeah, but it looks like MMA cleared up an entire drop there inside his main base, so being able to be aggressive and defensive at the same time. Jjakji edges forward and will pick off that tank. MMA loses every one of his tanks here.
Yeah, he does.
That's not so good there. He's got a couple back at home, but he lost the aggressive ones. And that 3rd command center has been spotted. MMA's has been spotted here by Jjakji. Does now Jjakji attempt to be aggressive now that he's killed off a few tanks here?
This could definitely be the time to do it, considering he did really lower the tank count of MMA's. But, I mean, even look at the supplies as well. MMA, kind of an interesting supply advantage, regardless of taking that loss. We do see the 3rd base finally go down for Jjakji as well at his 3rd. But already finished for MMA, so we have to wait and see if Jjakji is going to actually make that move, or he's going to continue to be defensive.
Great scan there from MMA. Catches 4 Medivacs full of units there, and he stims forward to try to capitalize on the fact that all the units are in the sky right now, and they remain in the sky. Does deploy in the last second there.
Forces the siege.
But it's a big drop from MMA. 3 Medivacs full. 4 Medivacs full.
Oh, Marines are stimming, but they're going to be out of position here, and into the production line does MMA go.
And he's also got Marines going to the 3rd base as well. So if both of these moves work well for MMA, he's going to find himself in a very good position. He's inside the main. He's doing a lot of damage to that production. Starport under fire. Tanks supporting from the right. Marines stim forward here, and an engagement will happen. And it's very similar to Marine Cab, but with more coming out for Jjakji, he will be able to clean this up, and MMA will lose a lot. But he does destroy the 3rd command center while keeping his own alive. So right now, MMA needs to focus on not dying. He's got a better income, he's got a better infrastructure, he's got much more of the minerals coming in, as we can see to the top left of the screen.
Absolutely.
Now you just not die, just don't take big losses, and Jjakji's going for the huge Doom drop.
He has to, I think, at this point. Down a base here. He did take a huge fight there. Oh, but look, Medivacs get caught out by random Marines on the map that took care of the third base, and he's getting rid of a couple of Medivacs here. Not going to clean it up, but completely stops this drop from happening. Knows exactly where that army is.
He's got to keep tabs on it at all times now, and I guess that sort of sensor tower is going to help out a lot for that.
Big time, big time. And MMA in such a commanding position now. The pressure is on Jjakji to make a move now, or he's going to simply get tapped out later on because the army supply is just going to be too high from MMA.
Oh, MMA's going to try and grab these units. He's seen them, he scanned them, he knows. And he's waiting right underneath them. All these Marines are... Whoa, that could have been so bad for Jjakji. He boosts away at the last second there.
That could have been it. That could have been game.
We're just going to go around again. Another scan from MMA on top of the army. Tracking them, knowing.
He knows exactly where they are.
Uh-oh.
He's waiting for them.
Yeah, and a boost away again by Jjakji, looking for that opportunity to somehow break through. But because this third base and the income's been so heavily favored to MMA, he is spiking it when it comes to the supply count now.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely. Up 20 supply so far. And it's only going to get worse from there. We do see +3 attack for Jjakji, though. I mean, plus the upgrade advantage is definitely in Jjakji's. He can take decent fights if it's Marine versus Marine, so long as he has enough. And he is going to go for this third base. He's going to pressure it now, but completely sandwiched from both sides, Marines of MMA. And I think he's just going to simply clean up this entire army.
That's almost game there, kicking off that army. And Jjakji, realizing the position that he was put in, he was pushing himself. He was pushing himself. He knew he had to do something. He tried, and he got shut down. MMA extends his lead here, moves forward with a large army. What does Jjakji have to stop it here? Is it going to be counterattacks? Is he going to try and mount a defense somewhere?
I think he has to counterattack because there's simply no way he's going to fight this amount of tanks. Look how many tanks there are. There's 8 tanks in that group. And simply just way more Marines. Another tank of Jjakji's is going to go down as well. And from here, I think MMA is just going to close it out. 50 supply lead. That third finally down for Jjakji, but I mean, turning into a planetary as well, which is going to help out at least a little bit.
Jjakji expecting this drop inside the main base. He's kind of close. And he's actually coming around the right-hand side with a bunch of Marines as well. But, not such a good engagement there for Jjakji. And MMA, I think he's going to walk to the natural here. Maybe the third base, siege up. That's a lot of tanks. These units of Jjakji are not going to have a good time engaging into this. And MMA's looking to take map number 1.
Very, very convincingly as well. After all things are said and done, really, really strong play, great positioning. He knew exactly what he had to do. And, I mean, denying that third base put him so far ahead and put the pressure completely onto Jjakji to make something happen. He tried to make something happen, and he got sandwiched completely. And now he is contained inside his natural. And MMA looking to close it out.
And MMA knows the army's there. He sees it with Marines. He's actually targeting down one of the low health medivacs, but at the same time, marching to the natural and is chasing the main army. It is over. GG. MMA takes map number 1 here in a crazy Terran versus Terran. Medivac drops absolutely everywhere, but it is